Big announcement, Battlestate Games made the mistake of giving me Twitch drops. What time slot did we get? Jesus, we are working the graveyard shift. That's right, I will be live both tonight and tomorrow with Twitch drops starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to drop by and hang out. Was this a bad idea considering I get my wisdom teeth yanked out at 7 a.m. on Friday? Maybe, but you know, we'll figure it out. The new Tarkov wipe is good. Sure, there are issues, but comparing this wipe to the last one is a night and day difference. Let's start with one of the biggest changes, and that is the locked flea market for the first 2 weeks. This is one of the best changes in the past 5 years. There is a genuine advantage to taking your time and looting everything because you never know when you're gonna find that really good attachment. People have to get creative, it slows the in-game economy, and fights are more interesting. Before, all you had to do was hit valuable spawns and sell a bunch of stuff, and then by day 3, you could rock borderline meta gear because you just bought everything off the flea market. It was repetitive and boring. Even worse, every single person was using a suppressor by day 2. Suppressors should be a valuable rarity that gives you a big advantage. I don't think they should be the standard kit that everyone uses. Suppressors make the game inherently less interesting. Every single raid is quiet. Back before suppressors just became the norm, gunshots were common, right? Raids would be popping off. Nowadays, every single one of them, even fully stocked lobbies, sound dead, barring a few random scav gunshots. At this point, it's old man yells at cloud. Suppressor meta isn't going anywhere anytime soon, even if it is incredibly boring. But at least for the first 2 weeks of each wipe, we'll have some loud gunfights. We get to have a little bit of fun. Another change is camera recoil. It's back. I have always despised camera recoil in Escape from Tarkov, but the current iteration of it is acceptable. When shooting full auto, it feels like my PMC's head is resting against a stock and is being slightly rattled every single time the gun is fired. While it might be a tad excessive in some cases, it is still a vast improvement over the old camera recoil system, which felt like a gnome was jumping out of the ejection port and punching me in the jaw every single time the gun fired. That sucked. If camera recoil has to be in the game, this is acceptable. DMRs and semi-autos are going to be very powerful this wipe, but full autos are still incredibly viable. The customs changes are certainly a thing that happened. The main changes are a bunch of connectors were added to directly link the different areas of the map so it feels a lot more open like reserve. For example, they added a direct connection between power and skeleton. This means that the old gas station choke point is much less powerful. I think these are okay, but I do take issue with the new buildings that were added, predominantly the ones that were added overlooking Skeleton and the Pocket Watch. These areas used to be huge for PvP. Some of my most memorable fights happened around Skeleton and next to the Pocket Watch tanker, but now that they have these buildings there, you can't really fight in the open. If someone just rotates into buildings or camps them, they have easy angles overlooking the entire area while they're hidden by glass. They just win. I'm sad about this because Customs was the map for medium range PvP. If you think about other maps like Shoreline or Reserve, most of the fights on those maps take place inside buildings that are very cramped in CQB. And then maps like Lighthouse or Woods, all the fights take place typically at longer ranges. The only other map that really does medium range PvP super well is Interchange, so I'm disappointed to see that niche weaken. That being said, these buildings do open up new opportunities for close quarters PvP, so it's not all bad. We'll just have to wait and see. However, Fortress is evil. There are so many random angles looking into Fortress now that it is just a kill box. What used to be a strong point for you to hold defensively is now a suicidal last stand against the 15 unrelated people that are all shooting at you. If you have to go there, get in, get out, do not linger. The audio is better. Is it good? No. Expecting good audio in Tarkov is like expecting a BMW driver to use their turn signal. You're just setting yourself up for disappointment. There's a seemingly common bug where the game thinks you're inside a building and the audio is muffled because of it, even if you are just standing in a random field, so it is far from perfect, but comparing it to last wipe where the audio was so bad that you couldn't even hear somebody if they were sprinting 3 feet away from you, it's much better. A change that I have conflicted emotions about is the found and raid requirement in order to build stuff in the hideout. On the one hand, it forces people to move more if they want to be able to progress through the hideout. Sure, you can sit in a corner for 40 minutes if you want to, but good luck finding it all. It will also slow down the economy since there will be a significant reduction in demand for hideout items. Before, if you stockpiled bolts, you could become John D. Rockefeller overnight. Probably not going to be the case anymore. The issue I have with it though is, if you are a standard account user, upgrading your stash just got significantly more difficult. At this point, we should just drag them out behind the shed and put them out of their misery, because upgrading their stash to be on par with everyone else is just a pain in the ass. Speaking of the hideout, they added a lot of hideout customization. Adding a little bit of personality to the hideout is a fantastic way of rewarding people for completing quests or achievements. I am genuinely so excited to find posters or figurines in Raid because I know I'm going to be able to spruce up my hideout. Fantastic addition. That being said, Battle State, where is my cat? I want a little guy in my hideout that I can give scratches to after I get murdered for the 50th time on Shoreline. You joked about it a while ago. Where is it? This is a threat. Give us the cat. With the snow making a return, they finally added winter camo to helmets, armors, and for our PMC. Winter camo is easily the drippiest thing that I have ever seen. Please add more items with it. I beg you. Also, the dynamic weather events are really cool. I don't care if they're inconvenient, which they should be, it's a blizzard. They are so cool. The feeling of being trapped in a snowstorm, it is foggy, it is white, you can barely see anything, but you are hunting other players knowing that they are also lost in the fog, is incredible. I love it. Now, if I had to pick one issue to complain about, besides the fact that Ground Zero spawns are still atrocious and the map completely sucks to try to do quests on, it is that scavs can see you a little bit too well. Scavs will now perform suppressing fire, where they will shoot at you even if they don't have direct line of sight. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to shoot at where they last saw you, but it doesn't seem to work great sometimes. You can't see anything because it is a white wall of snow and ice, but the scav with the blown out SKS and the drinking problem has no issues whatsoever. If you start getting shot at by a scav in a blizzard, just run for cover. That is basically the only thing you can do. Otherwise, I think this wipe is really, really good. I'm excited to log on and play Escape from Tarkov. That's a fantastic feeling. Otherwise, I don't have much to say. A quick reminder that I will be live on Twitch roughly 2 hours after this video goes live, and I will also be live on Thursday starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to drop by and hang out. We're going to be on for quite a while, and it should be a good time. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, especially all the way to the end, and I hope you enjoyed.